Hey, how's it going? Take two. So, first I'll let you take a look at my signs. Especially today, the spoiler part will be, just see it. just be forewarned. Because today I watched Netflix's Leave the World Behind. And that has... the names you will know are Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali, and Kevin Bacon. And then there's like an excellent supporting cast, actually. I just don't know them by name. So I will share all that information with you, or you'll get some information like that in the information box when I got done. Hold on. I'm rolling and I don't want to... I have to get adjusted. All right. Let me lock in. Okay, so what I had been saying before I started this video was that I wasn't sure what to do. I wasn't sure if I should do two videos, like do a card read video and then a second Spirit TV Critic video about this show or movie I saw on Netflix. And I decided that I'm just going to see how it goes, but I kind of feel like just kind of mushing it all together. So, I'm going to talk about the movie first anyway. A couple of things about it I really liked for reasons not really having to do with the movie itself. And one of them was that the three lead actors, Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, and Kevin Bacon, are actors that have been sort of cinematically in my life since I was a kid, like since I was a teen. And I think, I'm not sure, they're all somewhere near my own age. Like I just turned 60, so maybe that's a part of it too. Like, look at these people turning old and not be at all offended by it. In fact, just think, oh, that's going not bad. Ow. My shoulder. So, this movie has such... It's just chock full of topical situations, like topical on this side of the screen, as far as in current events, that kind of topical. But when I say current events, I mean current over like the past 60 or more years, because a lot of the character work, like their behaviors, reflect reality. So, you know, the dynamic between the two families, it gets off to a weird start anyway. And I don't know. I guess they were texting. So here's something interesting. I'm not going to say too much, I hope, but there's a situation that I have seen in the news a couple of times, and it's kind of a bummer, but it's also very revealing and also very much the reality of the United States right now. And it was a story about how a black couple had put their home up on the market, and it was not getting any bites, and the people would come in and look around, and the homeowners themselves were not there, you know, but they left their personal photographs and things up. So the homeowners happened to be black, and then they weren't getting any takers, and they were getting really discouraged, and then they just had the bright idea to take down their photos. And I don't know if they even put up like some white people stock photos or what, but they took down their own personal pictures, so the house didn't reflect blackness, basically. I don't know if they're like the type of black family that has up like I don't even know the name of it. There's a particular type of West African cloth that's, I think of it as like a tartan type deal, because each pattern represents, I guess, a family, you know. At least that's with tartan. It's a family name deal. So like a family crest. So there's God, there's a name for it. I'm so ashamed, I guess. I don't know. But I know earlier this year or last year, people gave Nancy Pelosi a bunch of crap for wearing it on Black Day or something, Black Month, whatever nonsense they're trying to. Like, if you're trying to fix stuff, let me just tell you that's not the way. Real stuff works, though. But anyway, so these two families are. Oh, right, I'm not done. So the family with the house for sale, the black family, after they took out all of the stuff identifying the house at all as black, all of a sudden they got like takers and they were able to hike up the price. I think they ended up making more than their asking price once they did that. And that's a sad thing to me, like, but you know, we're like that because remember when Obama was president and they had Obamacare, but they didn't want to take it. They didn't want to have anything to do with it in Kentucky because it was Obamacare. But when they changed the name to Kentucky Connect or something like that, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is so awesome! We get to have insurance now, or not insurance. Who cares about that? Healthcare. We get to go like get our ills treated." Hooray! Greatest country in the world, finally. But are we so silly, though? It wasn't like Obama came and treated people personally. He's not a doctor. He's not a doctor. He can't, like, multiply himself into several whole Obamas. Whole Obamas. Oh, my God. That was a good one. Anyway, he is not, it wasn't him personally, it was just like his name on it. But you know, I think about that and I wonder, like, what if McDonald was black, or the Colonel Sanders, and it was just a big hoax all these years. They were just hoaxing everybody. What would they do? All that chicken and McBurger crap that they ate. What would you, like, go home and, like, clean out your whole body of the corporate blackness? Sorry. So, in this movie, back to the movie, there's a house, and it's like a Airbnb type situation, and the people that end up renting the house don't realize who, like, they've been texting, you find out later on, to make the arrangements for the Airbnb move in, or I don't know any of the terminology about that, arrival, whatever, but they never met face to face. And then they end up meeting because the homeowners have to come home because, to put it loosely, all hell breaks loose. Like, all of the hell here in America, just all of it breaks loose. And it's interesting the way that they made people experience what was happening, because they didn't realize anything was actually happening for a long time, or they weren't taking the signs seriously at all. And a couple of people, like, from, like, the moment of certain defining points in the movie, they just knew, like, this is just wrong, something is all wrong, something is just not right. But what they thought was not right was not right. They were mistaken in their assumption, really, about the people. But it works both ways, kind of, a little bit. I mean, it's an odd sort of imbalance that eventually works itself out. So one of the things I really liked about it is that there were a lot of concepts that I've actually written about and published online just for free, that ended up in there. And I never know quite how to feel about that, because first I'm like, hey, damn it, that's mine. And then you got to realize that, for one thing, if you thought of it, for sure someone else has. So nothing's really anyone's. It's just who has the better press, I guess, who has the better advertising. So I'm not. But anyway, a lot of what was in there was definitely things I have talked about, like I was thinking, oh, I better not say this now because it's at the end. Well, I'm not the movie. I'm not telling you all of everything anyway. It does happen that this part comes sort of at the end, where you learn about a story that the homeowner learned from a defense contractor about why did I go blank right there? I hate when that happens. I just went completely blank. I can't believe it. Oh, okay, so it was a study done by some group think tank thing in the government that was doing a cost assessment of the best plans for destabilizing a nation, basically. And what was interesting to me, or it's interesting shit, excuse my language, but scary, was what is happening right now with like the MAGA movement, and the way that movement and Trump has put so many people in its thrall. And I know I have said a lot of times things about everyone having their own truth, but this is something else. So, the plan talks about how to, basically find ways to infiltrate a nation and make it sort of destabilize, but in ways so that they're unaware that they're being sort of guided and herded and pushed almost into these positions where only a number of things are likely to happen that would be of a benefit to this plan. For instance, they said isolate the country. Well, the way you do that is to cut them off from everywhere else, which is one of the first things that happens in that movie, is that there's a blackout and there's no service for cell phones or other stuff. Like lights and crap are on, but it's all of the online internet stuff that's not. And it seems like it's only isolated to their area at first, and as a viewer, and then you realize, even as it's in front of your eyes and everyone's to see, that it's not just happening in that isolated area, it's happening in the whole country. But they can't get news because everything is down. And so the second part was I can't remember the second part, but it may be completely obvious though, because the third part was then the people, since they have take out the leadership, coup d'etat, that was it, coup d'etat, or whatever it takes to take out all of the leadership. And one character even says at one point, no one's in control, no one's running things. That is how you cause a whole country to chaos. So the third thing was basically, under those conditions, the people are going to turn against each other because they're not going to have anywhere to turn to because everyone's a pinhead, I guess, and can't think for themselves. And so, I mean, all of the above. And so the thing about that is, if you take that plan and then you apply it to the MAGA movement and Trump, like I said, you might find yourself looking at like Congress right now, like the Republicans are fighting amongst themselves, but they'll fight the Democrats too. Don't you worry. Everybody just wants to. Well, not everybody. I can't say that because there's definitely some pugnacious people that like are spoiling for a fight, but that's not everyone. Everyone's annoyed or mad or frustrated or just like with these people, but and that could be either so-called side having that but that's one level, and then that's not a good look for the rest of us. And then like our highest court in the land is just for shit. Excuse my language again, but they're not impartial. And I don't know why we ever thought that would really be a true thing, because hello, people, we've only had like millions of years to like get an idea of how we are. We can't be trusted. And that's why I think like anything that requires an impartial decision that doesn't make some weird emotional biased one that's more harmful than it. We need like the machines, but we gotta teach them not to be like us for one thing, and also not to murder us or hurt us. But I think they learn that from us. Like I think that if the AI educates itself from what's on the internet, then we do not look good. We are not gonna teach it to make wise decisions. We always do this, like put the cart before the horse with technology and everything. We can't just, I don't know, give things the proper time of investigation, examination, like whatever it is. We don't check to see if the water's potable all the time. We just jump in, and then we have problems. So that kind of thing about it though was scary, because it was like telling us right in front of our face, this and this and this is how it could go wrong. Either they were saying it or they were showing it. They got the racial stuff in there, which they took like the top tier racial issue in this country, the black and white dynamic. I would say that that's probably the biggest one, I guess, if you're gonna be all weird and rate that. But that's the one they chose, and so that was there. And I thought it was a really honest portrayal. Not necessarily the characters, because if people were saying things to each other back and forth the way those two women were in this movie, then I don't see how it could have stayed. There was all this subplot or overplot or whatever other plot stuff going on that kind of made it so that they had to be together despite really not wanting to, some of them, like really a lot. But the situation called for cooler heads, and there was a lot of distrust, and there's a couple of people that could have cared less, just didn't care at all about that stuff going on. It was all about what was happening with them. And then there was another couple that were just like, we just want things to like not be a total explosion. There's like enough going on. Can we just try and work it out? And so amazingly, cooler minds did prevail in a lot of ways, but the situation itself was so monstrous. Like, it just had, just like reality would, it had every dynamic in there. There's way more dynamics, but not all dynamics are going to fit in one place. Like whatever's happening here that's all crazy is not going to really touch somebody 40 miles away, 10 miles away. The same as it would as if it were you and your peoples and that type of deal. Oh, I forgot to, oh well. I'll do better next time. Never mind. So, I thought that, it had everything well, not everything, but it had a lot of American culture. Like, it had enough there that it was pretty much whacking me on the head saying, hey, this is where we're headed. Is this what we want? Like, we probably still have time to avert some of this tragedy. Here, look, it's going to be really, like, terrible. And, I've seen, like, a lot of sci-fi and stuff like I've mentioned before, but you know what I think did it was a different story, but they ended up in kind of a similar situation, and it was, damn it, it's a vampire show that was on Sci-Fi, Van Helsing. It was a series, not the movie with Hugh Jackman. I'll put a trailer for it in the information box. But the reason why was because that was a vampire thing, but kind of the same things happened. Like the leadership ended up getting taken out, and technology didn't totally break down and go away. Like it did for a little while, or in places. It wasn't as widespread as this movie, Leave the World Behind. And that title definitely refers to something they even talk about in the movie that we in today, post-COVID, can totally relate to, is that there's no going back to the old normal, but that was always the case. Like the whole pandemic thing didn't make that new and real. That was always the case. Whenever there's a drastic change like that, like post 9/11, everything's been different, right? And we go back to, can we even remember really what the normal was back then? Normal is not a constant, I don't think. Even if there's not a disaster or something like that to yank you like out of your, I want to say, complacency. It's always changing. Normal is like when it's like day to day, it's hard to see. Like it's hard to see like your child growing up. It's hard to see those moments. You just kind of have those times when you look at them older and think, "Oh my God, you're not that little person anymore. Well, how did I miss that?" I don't have any myself, but I've seen people have that moment, and I've read about it and blah blah blah, so I get it. I've had pets. So, and also my peers growing up, like I also noticed like just them changing from how they used to look, and it's also hard to see with yourself in a lot of ways. Actually, I'm just gonna speak for myself on that. But I thought it was like it did a really good job of capturing how I feel like a lot of people in the situation portrayed would feel. So it was good, and I liked that. I thought it was going to be like a totally black movie because all the soundtrack in the beginning started out with that, and then like it was also in the movie. So I haven't like looked at the credits, but I imagine somebody black had something to do with that. And I don't remember who made the movie. I just kind of watched it and said, let me just do this, because that's all sort of information box stuff. And also, if you want to know like all of the cast and that, you can look as easily as I can. I'm not doing anything special, like if you really want to know, but I gave you like the bullet points as far as the stars, and they're all like known names. Anyway, it really had an impression on me. Okay, I guess I'm done talking about that. So, the cards that I pulled two, actually, from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. How do you keep doing that? Didn't you see that stuff at the bottom? There's stuff at the bottom. Whoa. Oh, come on now. So I pulled this card first, and it is the Empty Well card, and number 16, Time to Replenish. Just give you a good look at that. Today it looks like I'm in the bottom of the well looking up at the stars in the sky. And the other card I pulled was Unmarked Trail Revelation. And that one is number 57. This one I think is really pretty. I'm kind of partial to those mazes that are made out of hedges or whatever. You can see at the bottom. And also at the top. Mothership. That's how it's like on the mothership. Sorry, I don't know why that's cracking me up so hard, but yeah, like the Palladian mothership. It's so big that it has a sky and a floor, or whatever, a ground, but you can see both of them because it's a ship. It's not a whole world. I imagine. And the card that I pulled from the Wild Unknown, Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck was the Phoenix card, which I pulled yesterday. But it really wanted to come out, so I said okay. It wanted to be reborn. So, I was thinking that, especially after seeing that movie, that we have to, as people, really, instead of landing in a situation like in that movie, just like climate change, like now's the time to put the brakes on that stuff. And I think it's going to be, I think it's going to happen totally, where we're going to have a different way that we interact with each other, a better way, a more considerate way, a more compassionate way. And I hope that we can sort of get there without having to have a tragedy as the vehicle, you know, or a space invasion or a war to... Because I don't want to bring just Americans together. I want all of us on the world to get along. Like, we're fighting over the resources like they're running out and there's not enough for everybody. And, the fighting destroys the resources. Like, literally obliterates them. So that doesn't make sense. And we have been doing this fighting and warring and overpowering and all of the aggression just for so long, and I'm tired of it. I would like to see us doing something else. Let's just try it. I don't enjoy having to feel sad about things that happen to people that were done deliberately to other people, by other people, to other people. I don't like it when we hurt each other, when we blow each other up and all of that. And, you know, like, it's, I want to say I'm not a fan of getting rid of people and disappearing them and eliminating them and like that, but I also know that sometimes when I'm just like done with someone, I need to go away from them. Like, they don't need to disappear from the planet. I can go away. It's easy. Or usually. Sometimes you're stuck in like an airplane or at work or something and you can't leave. And then, well, then you're in a pickle, aren't you? And then you got to figure out how to deal with it. But it's, you know, something we do. But you know, it'd be even better if we didn't have to go that route at all, and like not have to feel like I don't like this, I gotta go. You know. And it's funny, I pull out some crystals and things sometimes to hang out with me, and I had picked this up. So this is a rune stone, and this I believe is supposed to picture like two hatchets, or else it's like face to face. And I was I didn't realize that I had picked it up. I thought I had put it back. And then I went to put it back, and I saw that there was another of the same one in with the rest of mine. And I am sure when I got these, I pulled them out and looked at each one, and there was not two of these. So, yeah. But yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, head to head, tete-to-tete, tete-to-tete, spy versus spy. They can't live without each other, and they're like polarity, you know? They're black and white, which reminded me of something that I didn't say, that I wanted to say both times I pulled that white tiger card recently. And what I wanted to say was their color scheme. The black and white represents shadow and light, so they contain both, and they're not necessarily one or the other, and they're not gray. So I just thought that was interesting. But they also are on the tiger, and the tiger can't live if you try to take one from the other. And I thought of this, this made me think of that. And those two things made me think that we are, I don't know, I mean, everybody's on a path, but I feel like we're expending a lot of energy defying each other, being each other's opponent. And I don't think any of us people, wherever we're from, whatever there is about us, are really all that different. I mean, yeah, there are like differences about us, but essentially we all do the same things. We eat, sleep, have bodily functions, jobs, families, things we like, entertainments, things we don't, religions, not religion. Like, we all have that. And I feel like it's like we get such a small return on that. Like, I feel like when we're like happy and good and having fun and enjoying each other's company and learning from each other and just having fun with each other, just being nice to each other, I feel like that feels better. That feels more rewarding. But I don't get rewarding out of the other thing. I only do that when I'm like defending myself or something. So, well, is that true? Well, if it's not true, I want to make it the truth. I mean, you can have a problem with somebody, but there's ways that you can express that reflect better on everybody, and I think forward more discussion and therefore more understanding, because that, I feel like, is what's missing. Some people say it's Jesus and the Bible. If that will get you talking to each other nice, then go for it. But that, sometimes the people I hear saying that, they're trying to use it like a weapon, or like an electric, what do you call those things they herd the cows with the electric prodding thing, that. And I don't know, that seems like real Old Testament to me. To just like, you have to do this because we think everybody should, and you got to think this way and feel this way. And it's like, if people don't, like, why do you think gay people just don't disappear? Like, why do they not evolve out of the existence, because so many people are against it and they're saying it's wrong. Well, you know what? Those people, you know who keeps making it happen? God. God keeps giving you the gaze. Have you noticed? And how long have we had the gaze? For like ever, like always. And all of the other things too that you have just discovered or just decided to notice, like trans people, always been there. Non-binaries, always been there too. Think about it. You have to have known a non-binary person. Isn't that so funny? They've always been around, but we just all of a sudden wake up to it. It's like the civil rights laws. Every time some new thing comes along, we got to go through the whole process we did with all of the same people, or all of the different people before them, the races and the LGBTQ community, and like whatever new thing comes along that is gonna need civil rights, it's gonna have to be litigated all over again. And I say, why? It's the same. You're gonna be trying to give these people the same benefits. Just do it. Just go, don't have it, cross that out. Do have it. Now you're part of everybody else. Yay. Okay, go back to what you were doing. Why does it have to be such a big deal? Such a big dumb deal? Like, I don't know. I mean, am I the only one that noticed that we keep doing the same thing over and over for the same thing? Why? What is the point? What is accomplished by that? I don't know. It's not my thing. So, it's like, you're not hearing all of the conversation. I was thinking about how, like it seems like some parts of whatever's happening, like some people get it at first, and then like it takes other people to catch up with it. And I feel like it's that way with consciousness, and why there's always going to be something that we are having a debate about as humans, because like the reading I saw today, I totally agree with it, but I already thought it myself. Maybe I'll link that too, that talked about how it's always going to be something, or else we'll just be bored, basically. So it's like, what do they say? We'll have nothing to do if we didn't have stuff to like get upset about, and all of the I'll link it. And I'm looking at this, and that's what reminded me that I had seen that reading, and of that idea that it's always something. So like every day is another start, a whole new day to relitigate the life all over again, even though it's the same thing. It's slightly different. We'll just do it again until everything everywhere is civilly righted. But don't take it away. Don't be all wiener about it. Sorry. Nope, not sorry. Side note, but I'm not going to give it. I have talked enough, I think. It was my time. It's alright. But I think I got the point. Oh, well. No, I guess I'm not done. This card, the subtitle on it is Revelation. And that this ceiling, floor, as above, so below business, that movie, I feel like, was a reflection on us. Like I said, like saying, hey, we're doing kind of this thing. Do we want to go down that path? And I vote no. I vote for no. An empty well. Time to replenish. To me, that's starting over. It's starting at zero again. Starting at zero. Alright, now I'm done. I have a joke. I'm not a comedian, so bear with me. But I tried to give this joke to Troy Bond, because I feel like it's right up his stylistic alley. But here's the premise. I was watching something on YouTube, some new show, and they were talking about oh, it was The View, I think. And they were talking about, I guess, a young woman on TikTok had made a list of places to go on a date that were not acceptable. And it was pretty big talk for like a week or so. But all of the places that this girl named off were like Cheesecake Factory, and I've never been, but on TMZ when they were talking about it, they were losing their minds. The men and the women, like, what? We love Cheesecake Factory. Oh my god. Okay. But it was like that. It was like Cheesecake Factory, bowling, hike, coffee, the beach, roller skating, like whatever you could come up with for a date, like an innocuous first date, was no go. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, so we're just all Kardashians now? Like, just normie stuff's not good enough for people? And I thought of some guy, like, showing up for a first date with a young lady and then taking her somewhere and her going, oh, no, I don't want to go to this place. Nah, nah, nah. And this guy, like, maybe, you know, really wants to impress this girl or really wants to have, like, her to have a good time and him to have a good time. Wants to know, okay, well, where else can we go? And she's like, no, we can't go here. No, can't go. Can we go here? No. Can we go there? No. And then finally, I feel like the guy would just be reduced to, shall we proceed directly to the dump site? See, it could be so funny, but the delivery is bad because I could work on it, but I'm not a comedian. That's why I wanted to give it to him, but he didn't answer me, so it's not gonna be topical anymore. I just wanted to get it out there. Oh, and I did. I actually wrote it in the comment section and got like a couple of likes, but I think it's funny as hell because it's kind of like the dude who was, don't ever explain the joke. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Thank you and good night.